I mean, were you ever told you were too much as a kid?
I've been told that today.
Yes. Jennifer Garner, welcome to One Nightstand.
Thank you.
We're so thrilled to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. But I mean, how can I focus when you just handed me my favorite stack of books?
They are such a great stack. I loved reading them this weekend. They're so fun.
Did you sit down and read all of these this weekend?
Yeah, I read them all before. I'd read Little Women before. So
well, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd read all of these before.
Well, I think we have different childhood classics in the UK. There's a lot more like Enid Blyton and Roald Dahl.
Of course.
So I hadn't read a lot of them before, but they're so fun.
They're so fun.
Have you always been a big reader?
I've always been a big reader. When I was a kid, I grew up in this little town, and my big sister is this really brilliant woman. And as a kid, she kind of shone over the whole town. She was the sun. And it felt that way, especially to her little sister.
Yeah.
And I was Melissa's little sister. And what I had was this incredible relationship with our school librarian. Who saw me for me. And her name is Annis McCann. I still visit her when I'm home in West Virginia. And I called her Mom McCann.
Aww.
And she let me go into the library and shelve books with her and spend time with her. And I got to organize the card catalog, and I would help her order. And she even made a little area for me inside an old refrigerator box and let me sit and write, because I wanted to be a children's book author.
Did you?
Yes, and children's literature is so important to me that when you asked my 5 favorite books, of course, there's so many that I love, but this is what I went back to, what my mom and I read to each other every night, 1 page at a time.
Have you ever tried to write a children's book?
I never have.
You should. I think that'd be so fun.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for authors and what it takes to author something, and I don't pretend to have that skill. I like to read what they write.
I know, it is so fabulous. Well, you've chosen some incredible books, and I thought we could start with Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. Tell me, what do you love about that book?
I love how transcendent friendship is, and how kids are brilliant enough and open enough to hear everyone speaking around them. And it's only as we get older that we lose that skill.
Totally.
And I love how naughty Templeton the Rat is.
Yes.
And I love that in the end he gets to be part of the hero's journey.
Yeah.
And I read it aloud to each of my kids, and all 3 times they talk about it, they tease me about it. I cry at the end. I cannot, and I have to put the book down and have a real cry about it, the thought of saying goodbye to Charlotte is and that is your beautiful introduction, if you're lucky enough, to the end of life. Let that be your introduction.
Yeah.
And that it's okay, and that her children go on, and oh, it's so good.
It is. And it's really that silent hero. She's, I love the little funny asides, when they're announcing that Will was the prize pig or whatever. And they're obviously, a spider cannot possibly make a web on their own. And she's oh, they can't, can they? It's so good. It's so funny.
Well, she's the most clever. She's Meryl Streep.
Yes.
She is. She's the most clever, very best, most elegant, most just... Yeah, Charlotte is everything.
It's so charming, isn't it?
So charming.
I was really struck by, when I read all of your books, they're a very I think I gravitated towards almost slightly darker childhood story, the sort of Roald Dahls as we were discussing before. Were you drawn to the sort of safe, because it is such a safe space. I think one of the lines I wrote down is, every day was a happy day and every night was peaceful. And I was oh God, to live in that world.
Yeah. I think this is kind of what my childhood was. I think I had a very sweet childhood, and I loved the darker books, but these would definitely be, I read each of these books a million times, but definitely my first time through was with my mom. And she read to me, we read back and forth all the way through middle school.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I know, isn't that crazy? I have one of my kids who let me read to them that late in their life. Really? But the other 2, one kind of stopped in 7th grade, and one was just I cannot, you read so slowly. And I'm thinking I'm reading so quickly.
It's such a special thing.
I do think reading to your kids is the greatest gift you can give them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They become, my kids can really learn listening You know, they really, like I used to be able to say, okay, I know we're in here somewhere. Mrs. Barry was here. No, after that. Okay. The warming scene. Nope. After that. There's another, not a sister. We're there, Mom, on that page a little further. It's like, great.
Oh, wow. That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's such a lovely habit. I thought, there's this line in that where they talk about how with Fern, like when she's looking after Wilbur, they talked about how all the animals trusted her. Are you a big animal person?
I am a big animal person. I love animals. I love farms. I love barnyards in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I am a big animal person, but I wouldn't define myself. No. I wouldn't say like I am an animal person. I am because I'm a human and I love animals. But
you bought your family farm, right?
Yes, I did.
Tell me
That's
about
true.
That. What's that like?
Well, my mom grew up on this tiny farm in nowhere, Oklahoma, and they had a little house that it was like 2 rooms. There was a front room and a back room.
Oh, wow.
And there were all these kids, and they would sleep like one facing this way, one facing this way, one facing this way, kind of all through. And I think I romanticize it because they had a cellar. My grandmother, Violet, was really good at canning food.
Oh, wow.
She was really clever at food, so they weren't hungry. But that is it. And she always kept them looking really neat and smart. But it was back when the feed sacks for animals were made out of calico, and that calico she would use to make their clothes. Like my grandmother was born in a covered wagon. You know, it was really like early Sooners, and the house didn't have running water, electricity, or until my mom was like much, much older.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever had running water, but yeah, it was just this little farm, and my uncle was living there, and my mom said, oh, you know, I it would be so nice for Uncle Robert if you bought the farm. And I said, of course I will. So it had been bought on a handshake 100 years earlier, and my business manager had to go back and find a record, and there were no records.
Oh, wow.
And he was just like, really? What are we doing? But he figured it out. He figured out something that made it official.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds very similar, your mom's childhood to the House on the Prairie kind of vibes of this like house being built. It's astonishing because like I said, I hadn't read that as a kid, but reading that, I felt like getting this American history lesson.
It is. And now I read it and I see it as colonialism.
Yeah,
I see it in a totally different light.
Yeah.
And it kind of, my daughter actually wrote a paper about Little House on the Prairie for college that's so brilliant and really looks at it through a different lens, which she has worked really hard to see the world in a much more, she's much more educated than I certainly have ever been. But oh my gosh, as a kid, I didn't see that at all. I just saw the romanticism of what this family went through and how they only had each other and their dog Jack, the good dog Jack, and just everything that it took to grow up on the prairie and to colonize, yes, but also to be pioneers in this beautiful, incredible country of ours.
Yeah. There is also awareness though, because I loved that line that when Laura's mom is being, sort of nervous about like Native community, she's like, well, why did you move here if you don't like them? There was just like this little aside, and it was just so smart, and capturing the way that children can often like hold up a mirror in the most like brilliant way.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
Really special.
Yeah, Laura knew, she was much more knowing about what was happening than her parents.
Totally. So did you read that book as a kid growing up?
I've probably read it. I've probably read the whole series 15 times, 20 times, easily.
Are you a big book rereader?
I am.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I am. I mean, yes. I mean, we haven't gotten to some of them. Yes, I've read all of these many times, but this one I've read many, many, many times. And the first book that she wrote, Little House in the Big Woods, that is almost like, it was Laura Ingalls Wilder's first book, and it's almost a how-to.
Yes.
Like she's really describing to you, this is what you do with a pig when you butcher it.
Totally.
This is how you handle
dry the meat.
Yeah, this is how you dry the And her daughter, I guess, Rose, just helped her more and more craft the story and learn like what the narrative was that people were interested in.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And I love how like her dad really sort of takes her under his wing in terms of like showing her everything and like teaching, like that scene of them making the door together for the house. I thought it was I'm one of 3 girls as well. I'm the middle one.
Are you really?
Yeah, middle child of 3, and I was very like close to my dad.
It's very special to be middle girl.
It is.
Of 3, isn't it?
It really is.
And I was very close with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sort of...
I was almost the son.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Me too, exactly.
I was meant to be a boy, big time. My name was supposed to be John. But I'm not John. I'm definitely not. But yeah, I kind of became like the...
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was outdoorsy and loved helping my dad with stuff like
Loved
that.
helping my dad.
Holding the ladder or doing the like
100%.
all that kind of stuff.
My dad was a sailor.
Oh, wow.
And he loved to sail out right into a storm. As all the sailors would be coming in, my dad would be like, well, reef the mainsail, out we go.
Yeah.
And we'd go out on this tiny 23-foot boat into the storm. And there was a bimini over the cockpit that, I don't know what you would call it, like a little awning almost. And when the storm would get crazy, the bimini would like knock my dad and he couldn't see where he was steering the boat. So my job, everyone would go below and Dad and I would put on our foul weather gear and I would hold the water off the bimini. And it's like, that is my special dad memory. But yeah, that's the son thing to do, right?
Totally. It is. It is. And it's just sort of like, the second daughter ends up in that. I know. It's because my younger sister was much more sort of like demanding of attention, but I definitely like slotted into all the gaps, being like, how can I be helpful?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, that Laura is the same way. Laura helps her dad. Yeah.
It's so special. It's so, so special. And it's sort of, I mean, that image of their mom ironing the dresses in the desert. I was like, I could barely be bothered to iron a shirt when I'm like...
I know, but my grandmother, Violet, sent her kids to school with their hair braided, clean, smart, ironed, and they were wearing cow's feed dresses, really. So cool.
It's so cool. I know.
Cool.
My parents were exactly the same. Like, I have this memory, one of my memories of my dad is him polishing our shoes on a Sunday night, every night, and the smell of that, like, shoe polish in the hallway. It's so special. Do you ever crave the isolation of like the little house on the prairie, or you're more of a city person? What do you kind of prefer?
I honestly, there's nowhere I go that I don't think like, oh, I could live here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Every time I'm on location, I think, well, this is great. I love
Maybe this is my new home.
Yeah, I love this. I need some kind of neighbor. I like people. But yeah.
It's an interesting version of neighborliness in that book as well, because I was struck by how the neighbors all help each other, but then there's this real fear with Laura's parents about like owing people and not being like, not taking too much.
Yes. Well, if you keep going, you get to little town on the prairie.
Oh, okay.
And they start to have a town around them, and it's kind of satisfying. They start to go to school, and she becomes the school teacher. Anyway, worth a read.
Yeah, I love that. And I thought, it's such a special book. Let's talk next about Ramona the Pest by Beverly.
Let's talk
Cleary.
about Ramona.
I loved this one.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So she's a lot like Laura.
Yes.
You see, like there's a through line.
There's a through line of like these mischievous, curious young girls.
The ones who just can't, they itch. They get a little bit in trouble, whether it's Anne, whether it's Joe, Laura, or Ramona. Fern is perfect.
Yeah, no, Fern is perfect.
Fern is perfect. But Ramona is such a pest.
She is. She's so sweet. Did you read that book as a kid as well?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was obsessed with Beverly Cleary. Obsessed. Started writing a book when I was little called Ramona the Meek, because there's a book, Ramona the Brave, and I was writing the opposite, that Ramona was having a really hard time. And I was very, very little. Ooh, these are not the original illustrations.
Oh, have they mixed it up?
I disapprove when they change the illustrations. But yes, Ramona Quimby, she's always getting in trouble.
She is, but she has such a lovely teacher.
She does.
Because the teacher's really trying to give her space. And like, I think it's such an interesting story of how to be a like caregiver for... Especially, I mean, were you ever told you were too much as a kid, or were you like...
I've been told that today.
Yes. Because me too. Like, it's that sort of... And it's so hard, I think. I watch my sisters with their kids, like, parenting, like, spirited children. You want to give them space, but also steer.
Yes, it's tricky, isn't it?
It's tricky.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. Is this the one where Ramona goes to the art class with Beatrice?
No.
And I'm going to get the wrong one. But Ramona goes to an art class with her big sister, and they're supposed to draw something wild, and Ramona draws a dragon, and it has lollipops on its back, and the clouds are big pink cotton candy, and the teacher talks about how great Ramona's drawing is, and it hurts Beezus' feeling because Beezus is a firstborn.
Yeah.
She's doing the line straight, she's doing this and that, and I think that is the thing about Ramona that I loved, is that she gave me permission to draw outside the lines,
Totally.
to be a little bit messy, to be unhappy, to dreamily wear my pajamas under my clothes to school and think that was going to work out okay. Things like that.
Yeah, it's so sweet.
Also, the family has trouble.
Yes.
Like the dad, is this the one where the dad loses the job?
Oh, no.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm getting my Ramona screwed up.
There's so many.
But the dad loses his job and they have to pinch and, they have to tighten their belts, as they say. And it's like real trouble, but the parents are solid and the family is solid. And so it was a very gentle way to learn about, everything isn't always perfect.
Totally. I watched the first few episodes of the new season of your Apple TV show, and I thought it's the last thing that he told me, and you're moving on to season 2, but I thought that has so many interesting models of different types of caregivers as well, because I was thinking about, in the context of all these books, you have the mothers and you have the sort of like the teachers and the guardians, especially with Anna Green Gables. And I was curious what drew you to the part of Hannah and, as this kind of stepmother with Bailey.
I was really drawn to Hannah because she is imperfect and because she is figuring it out. Mm-hmm. And while she's an artist, she doesn't live as outside the lines. She's a little more organized than I am as a person, and that feels good to me. I like that she has her act together more, her clothes match, and nobody has put them together for her. She knows how to get dressed. So I there's so many things I love about Hannah. As we always say, she's the grown up in the room. She's the grown up in the room. And she's a benevolent caregiver in the way that Marilla. Have we gotten to Anne yet?
We're gonna get there.
Okay, she's Marilla.
Yes.
She's a reluctant mother. Mm-hmm. She's coming into it. She loves this man. And Marilla obviously has no love interest, obviously. But Hannah is so in love with Owen that she's ready to give being a stepmother, her all. And little does she know how complicated a teenage girl or an adolescent girl can be, which Anne was for Marilla and which Bailey definitely is for Hannah. And what I love is that as we enter season 2, it's like the later books in Anne of Green Gables where Marilla is the most dear. She is a true mother to Anne, and Hannah is a true mother to Bailey. Yeah,
no, I loved it. And I was reading the first book this weekend as well, and I loved some of those lines I wrote down, like, I have no desire to push her. I have no desire to demand that she come inside, when Hannah's talking about when she's doing something with Bailey. And I was like, oh, that's such a lovely way of being able to, again, give someone space to sort of
Hannah is very wise.
Yeah.
But she yearns for it. She wants that connection, and she tries too hard. She's too much in that relationship. She's like, I'm going to make you this pasta that you liked. Of course she screwed it up. Of course the kid isn't interested. It's like, Hannah, do less. And in this season, she has done the most to take care of Bailey. Yeah. She says, Bailey, I want you to grow up. I want you to go to college. I've got us. I'm going to keep us safe. And in keeping them safe, she has done, you just can't even believe all the things that she's done to prepare for the inevitability of danger.
Yeah. And you're doing fight scenes. And all of it, was that fun?
Oh, it's always so fun. I love it. I actually boxed a lot to get ready for the season. And my boxing coach ended up being in the first episode playing my boxing coach.
That when you're doing the training on the beach? Yes. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, he'd never been on camera, and he was like, well, okay.
Off we go.
His name's Flacco. He's wonderful.
That's so fun.
Yeah,
I loved it. And I read that you wrote a letter to get the part. What are you able to share anything of what was kind of in that letter? Or?
I think that was where I I first said that Hannah's the grown-up in the room.
Yeah.
And I was kind of just talking about motherhood, and I was talking about the ways that somebody can disappear on you, and it can bring out the best in you because you have to rise, and how you realize how capable you are of rising at the nadir.
Yeah,
you
totally.
know, you have no choice but to go up.
Yeah.
And so I find Laura's writing to be incredibly profound. And what I love is that it kind of tricks you, because if you really love wise, profound writing that's all about these deep relationships with people that you fall for, okay, great. But really, you can't stop turning the pages, because there is underlying this thriller and this engine of like, what is going to happen? And she manages to give you a twist at the end of every chapter. It's like, mic drop again.
Yes, every time.
And if you love the action, then you're going to be taken aback by how deep it is. So either way, you can't go wrong.
I know. And it's so subtle. Like another bit I wrote down where someone goes, "Are you a therapist?" And she goes, "No, I just pay attention." I was like, that's women everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like the amount of times men have said that. And I'm just like,
really, if you start underlining things in Laura's books, you're gonna need a new pencil.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true. It's so true. No, but I loved it. And I thought all of your books have really interesting models of motherhood and the way that mothers can show up, and, you know, the mistakes they make and the successes they have. It's really beautiful. Maybe we should move on to Anne of Green Gables.
Ready.
What a treat. Tell me what you love about this book.
Anne of Green Gables. My mom keeps by her bed. She reads a little bit of it at night, like the Bible. And she quotes it like the Bible. And she will quote and she'll say, "Oh, that's Anne of Green Gables." And we'll be like, "No, Mom, that's Ma Ingalls." Or that is, or she'll say, "Oh, this is the Bible." And we'll say, "Mom, you taught Bible study for 10 years. You know the Bible backward and forward. You know that Ma Ingalls did not come up with this. It is from the Bible." Or the same with Anne of Green Gables. She will quote the two. I mean, it's an ill wind that doesn't blow some good. Ma Ingalls. I can't even think of how many sayings from my childhood come from Anne. But anyway, the puff sleeves.
Yeah.
The need for home.
I know. And and how she it's lovely.
The rich friendship with an opposite. That her best friend is the polar opposite in every way, with her creamy skin and her dimpled elbows and her black hair and her utter lack of imagination, her practicality, compared to Anne, who is she's a filament above a cloud.
Yeah, I agree. I love that line about kindred spirits. They're not so scarce as I used to think. It's splendid to find out there are so many in the world. Do you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. A kindred spirit is a conversation away.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
I just made that up.
Oh, I love it.
Trademark.
So do you make like new friends all the time? Is that something that you're like, or not friends, but like connections?
Not in a ridiculous way, but yes, I can leave a subway ride thinking, I am now walking away from my best friend on the earth.
I love that.
That is possible for me, but no, I don't do that all the time.
No, that's so special though. And I loved, Anne is the epitome of someone with big feelings, right?
Anne has big
feelings.
She has second kid energy.
Yes.
Even though she's an only.
Yeah.
Yeah, she brings middle daughter energy.
She does. And she's so fun. And she's so they really give her space to kind of figure it out.
Well, she's quite a mess.
Yeah, she
gets her friend drunk. And she gets in so many pickles. Is she the too much salt?
Yeah.
She just does everything wrong, but she does it with her whole heart.
I loved, there's also this line about Marilla and Matthew and their different types, so that Marilla does the bringing up and Matthew offers appreciation, and sometimes appreciation does as much good as the conscientious upbringing. How do you find that balance as a parent?
Oh, I think I do a bit of both, and I think my kid's dad does too, especially when you are in, your kids grow up in two separate households. I become mom and dad, he becomes dad and mom. You kind of can't help it, right? Because you don't have the benefit of both sides, the yin and yang, being in the same house. And so you have to have a bit of both in the way that you parent. Yeah. There's a little bit of loss in that, but there's also there's also something gained in that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also just learn, it's made me let go and not focus so much on the bringing up.
My mum and dad alternated at being the bringer up in different contexts as well, and it's quite lovely to know that one can be one and the other and alternate.
Yeah.
It's like a nice quality.
Yeah, I think so. But in this case, Matthew is always Matthew.
Yeah.
And Marilla is decidedly Marilla.
Yeah.
And it's very, if anyone out there has someone to read these books with, oh my gosh, do yourself a favor. You will laugh so much. Sit down and read these.
And read it as an adult. Like, I'm reading some of these because hadn't, like, I was familiar maybe with TV adaptations. They're so fun as an adult. Like, I was sat having my lunch on Sunday in like a cafe. And I was like, this is so pleasant.
Oh, they're such great books.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm going to clearly go back and read them all. Although I've read them all to my kids pretty recently.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so lovely. Well, your final book is, I thought we'd save the biggie for last, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Tell me about your love of that book.
It is a perfect book.
Yeah.
It has love. Mm-hmm. It has intrigue. It has the country kids doing okay. It has the missing father and the promise of him possibly appearing. It has the perfect blessed mother. It has the scare of the illness.
Yeah, and faith.
And then it has tragedy.
Yeah.
It has real tragedy. Mm-hmm. I mean, is there anything more sad?
I know. I just love the portrayal of the sisterhood in it. The sort of like the squabbles and the vicious fights and the swift forgiveness. I always remember my sister's husband being baffled by the way me and my sisters could be at like complete loggerhoods and then 10 minutes later be like, should we pop out then?
Yeah.
Because that's just how sisters are.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah, it's the only way.
Yes, you absolutely have to be. But when Jo cut her hair.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I actually danced a ballet of Little Women in high school.
Oh, wow.
My mom calls me Jo because of Jo.
Did you always identify with the character of Jo?
Of course.
Yeah.
And in the ballet, I was Jo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love that. That's so special. Mm-hmm. Did you and your sisters ever do anything as terrible as like the burning of the book?
Thank God, no.
No, me neither.
No, we didn't do anything nearly like that. It was just, we squabbled over clothes.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. And then once I took a big bite of a ham and cheese sandwich. That was the last of the ham and cheese sandwich ingredients in the house. And my little sister got really mad and I got really mad back. And we like both cried.
Yeah.
But that's as bad as it got. And we still talk about it.
Oh, I completely agree. Yeah. Those wounds run deep. But I can't imagine doing something like burning the book.
Burning the book. Oh.
It's awful.
Oh, it's so
awful.
naughty.
It's like hard to forgive. Even when I read it, I find it hard to forgive.
I know.
Yeah, it's tough.
Really hard.
Did Mommy shape you as a mother at all, do you think, like reading it? Or...
Oh, I'd love to be like Marmee.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope my kids think that I'm a little bit like Marmee.
Yeah.
I don't think I am.
I'm sure you are.
I don't think I am. I think I go to work, I think I'm much more distracted and much more... but I really give it the old college try.
Oh, that's wonderful. And the friendships in it are so lovely. Like, because I always try to, when people ask about having sisters, I'm like, I have like two parallel relationships with them. My relationship as like a sister with our parents, and then friends, which is slightly different. It's different somehow.
Yes, agreed. And when someone else enters the picture, suddenly your sister is your friend.
Yes.
It's that relationship instead. Like with Lori, suddenly they're friends and they have Lori.
Exactly.
By the way, did you ever read The Penderwicks?
No.
Oh, that's...
Do I need to read it?
Well, it's a kid's series again, but it's almost like it's almost based on, but it's well written enough that you forgive them.
Oh, I love that.
Great.
I was interested as well that you, talking of friendship, in the new season, you have Judy Greer back with you. Tell me about that.
Very well done. You're very good at these segues. Do you know that?
Like my little pivots.
Yes, you're good pivot. Judy Greer, one of my oldest, bestest. Yeah. We have been friends. We shot 13 Going on 30, I think 23 years ago. It came out 22 years ago.
Crazy.
And it was kind of a magical movie to make, as you can imagine. And it was toward the beginning for all of us. And it was a really big deal for Mark and for Judy, and certainly for me, even though at the time we didn't know if it was just going to be a fluff movie that no one ever saw. We never, of course, imagined it would have the legs the way that it has. And Judy is such an incredible actress. I've worked with her 5 times now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And this was I think this show as actors was my favorite.
Oh,
it
really?
was very satisfying.
Yeah.
She really brings it. I mean, there were some scenes between Judy and Angallery Rice where I am just watching these actresses, and Angallery is 24. She's so talented. I mean, she just blows us out of the water. We can't believe her. And you know, she's an author.
Is she?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know
she has
that.
her second book coming out with her mom, Katie Rice.
Oh,
Yeah.
I need to look that up.
Kate Rice. I think Kate Rice. But anyway, the two of them were so incredible that I would forget to say my lines because I was watching them go, but I would interject in the scene, but it's really their scene. And I would just be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. They were amazing. But yeah, Judy's just...
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I did spend a significant part of my Sunday looking at the pictures of Jenna's childhood bedroom at 13 going on 30, trying to work out what books were on the bookshelf, but I couldn't quite see it. But I feel like she would have read...
She would have had all of these.
She would have had all of
Every
those,
single
right?
one of them.
And I feel like we capture her at that point where she's maybe like, oh, I'm too old for those now, but actually quietly she wanted to read them
Oh,
still.
yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure she would.
Well, thank you so much. This was such a pleasure. I'm so grateful. There were 5 brilliant books and I loved reading them. And I
good.
hope everyone goes to watch The Last Thing He Told Me. It's so fun. I was gripped.
Isn't it?
It's just so gripping.
Isn't it just a really fun season?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really thrilled with it. I hope people like it. I think it does pure justice to the sequel, which is, was an instant bestseller, and that people are loving. But it also, so it does a great job for that. It pays off what you want to know from the first book, but then with the introduction of new characters and the way the story goes, it's like barrels you in a whole new direction.
Yeah.
So very fun.
Oh, good. Well, congratulations. And thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, so fun.